Race is directed by Stephen Hopkins and is the true story of Jesse Owens, a runner from northeastern Ohio who eventually went on to make history at the 1936 Olympics. Now, when I saw the name Stephen Hopkins, I thought to myself, that looks familiar. I need to look that up right now. This is a guy who directed Predator 2 and Lost in Space. Gratefully, his skills have improved since then because I really enjoyed watching Race, and one of the biggest reasons is because of Stephan James. He is really good in this movie for two specific reasons. He captures the heart of Jesse Owens, this runner from northeastern Ohio who just really wanted to make a difference and really wanted to help his family. But he also captures the most important element of his character, and that is the conflict. Being an African American at that time was incredibly, unreasonably hard in every way. We all know this. It was stupid, stupid times. The chance for him to go to the Olympics being held in Berlin, where Adolf Hitler was currently under reign, was a huge, huge statement that he could make. But he has a lot of conflict about this because of the way Hitler treated blacks and Jews and tons of other different religions that he didn't agree with, and he wonders if he really should go at all or if he should just boycott the Olympics entirely and make that statement for his people and for his family. And that's where Race really shined for me, the conflict there. That story and that element of this movie was really riveting, and that was one of my favorite parts of this movie because there are a lot of subplots, and when the film does conclude, you understand why these subplots were necessary to tell the story correctly, but throughout the film, they do appear a bit broken. The movie does have a hard time making these numerous subplots feel seamless. There's a German director trying to film the Olympics, and she's having a hard time convincing the Nazis to give her the equipment necessary. There's a humongous ass Nazi who's trying to make everything hard on the Jews and the African Americans who are participating in the Olympics. There's of course Jesse Owens' main story of trying to become a better athlete. He also has a family back home. There's also a woman he meets that makes things a little bit difficult for him. And then there's Jason Sudeikis as his coach. There's a lot of subplots in this film, and sometimes the movie has a hard time balancing all of them. They all need to be there to tell this story correctly, and they're mostly handled well. But that's my biggest issue with this movie. It is very long, and it feels long because those subplots are improperly balanced. It's easy to say, well, this movie's overlong. Well, why is it overlong? Because parts of it were a little bit boring, because the actual story wasn't as cohesive as it could have been. Because, you know, if a movie's good and you're enjoying everything, you're not going to really notice if it's 2 hours and 14 minutes. But if some of the story elements could have used some more work, then you are going to notice it, and it is going to feel a little bit too long. But I touched on something, and that was Jason Sudeikis. He really surprised me in this movie. He again proves that comedians can work really well in a dramatic movie, because he was the one element of this film I was confused about. I was like, I don't know about that when I saw the cast list. And he really was great. He plays a coach that in the past had similar opportunities that Jesse Owens is now experiencing. And because of this and not obtaining those goals, he feels very broken. And I thought he gave a really good performance. So between the two good lead performances of Jason Sudeikis and Stephan James, I thought this was a very enjoyable movie. It is a little bit too long because some of those story elements are not handled as well as they could. There is an overabundance of subplots, but they do need to be there. And that's really it. I had a great time with this movie, and it's also very well titled. The title Race, not just the sporting event, but it also touches on the bigger issues this movie is talking about directly with a person's race, with the Nazis in Germany and back in America, the way it's depicted there. It was the perfect title for this movie. I'm going to give Race a B. I hope some people check this movie out because I was the only person in the theater, and that was a little bit disappointing. Although it was kind of cool to have the whole theater to myself, I was expecting more people, especially since I am from northeastern Ohio. I've heard about Jesse Owens my whole life, so it was really cool to see him depicted well on screen, and I was expecting more people from my area to come to this movie, and I hope some people see it, because it is worth your time. Stay tuned for Sunday. My next episode of Retro Rewind is going to be for Tremors. I'm relaunching that segment, and I can't wait to bring it to you guys. You guys are the best. Thank you. If you like this, you can click right here and get Stuckmanized.